Hello my beautiful people, welcome to the next weekly general with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the website addressed below. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So this week, when I went into my intuition, interestingly enough, what I could actually see was a star being born. I could see things rushing in from this way and things rushing in from this way, and they kind of swirled into this like almost like a pinprick of light. It started really small and then it started to grow and it gained mass, and it was a really beautiful thing to watch. But what I understood from that, the words that were coming through were, think about the pressure. Think about the immense twisting and heat, fire, passion, desire, love. Think of all of the amazing things that go into, that come from various different bits of debris and all the rest of it, and twist into this sort of vortex of energy and fire and everything, like, and the immense pressure that happens there. It's said that diamonds are forged under immense heat and immense pressure, and when I was watching a star being born, effectively that's what it looked like to me anyway. That's the best way that I can describe it. And the words that I took away from it, or that I kept hearing over and over, were take the pressure. So this week you're invited to kind of look at, what is it that you're working on? What is it that you are working towards? What is it that you're trying to do better with, to gain more of, to push beyond? The thing is, very often when we feel the strain of something, when we feel the pressure, that's when the best parts of something are coming through. That's where the change is really taking place. When you think about your physical, sort of goals, like they say, when it starts to hurt, when you're doing reps at the gym or your sit-ups or whatever, those ones that hurt at the end, those are the ones that are creating the change. Those are the ones that are creating the shape that you're hoping for. So that's where you push on. I think it was Muhammad Ali that said, I don't even start counting my reps of anything until it starts to hurt, because it's those ones that hurt that are actually doing the job, that are making the change possible. Now, this isn't, I'm not sitting here telling you like, oh, no matter how bad your situation is, just take the pressure and keep going. What I'm saying is, and it's like stretching. Stretching's a really good example. You get to that point and you're like, oh, that is uncomfortable. And if you leave it a few seconds, maybe 5 to 10 seconds, that feeling of uncomfortable sort of, oh, it's really tight, that's not comfy, that feeling of uncomfort melts away. And so this week, what you're being asked to do when it comes to your lifescape, if you're feeling the pressure in some way, in some part of your life, in some experience of your life, what you're being asked to do this week is go that little bit further, push that little bit longer, take the pressure that you're feeling right now and push beyond it, because it means that you're very close to a breakthrough of some sort. It means that there's some change is taking place that you may not be able to see it. I mean, if I'd have been in the middle of all of that taking place, I would have probably been bombarded with rocks and just felt like I was on fire and be like, okay, so why are you showing me this? This isn't very pleasant. But I got to see it from a bird's eye view. And, for me to watch it from that distance, to watch a star being born was beautiful. I'm sure being in that environment, at the pinprick of where it was taking place, it probably wasn't quite as beautiful, or may not have felt that way. But as I could see it from a distance, I could really see this energy shaping up. And, like I said, from a distance, it was beautiful to behold. So whatever it is that you're traversing at the moment, whatever it is that you're experiencing, if you've maybe been slogging your guts out over something and not really seen any results, maybe you've been saving like a mofo and you think like, bloody hell, at the moment all I can see is that I feel like I'm constantly broke. Or maybe you're on a weight loss journey and you think, you know, for the amount of effort I've put in, I don't really feel like I've seen that much of a change. Or, you know, I've been at this new job like 8-9 weeks now and I still really kind of feel like I don't know anything. Or I've been studying this course for God knows how long and I still kind of feel like my brain's empty of knowledge. Those moments of uncomfort, those moments of, you know what, I feel like I'm just under a lot right now and not really getting a lot out of it. Those moments are going to be vital for you to push beyond this week, especially because this is where you're going to see that sort of moment of breakthrough. I mean, as well, figure as well, on the 9th, I believe it is, Mercury will go direct. So we're kind of at the end of that part of a cycle. 2 days later, the sun is going to sextile Jupiter, which is lovely. So, you know, there's going to be some moments where it kind of gets like, you know, like as the saying goes, the last hour before dawn when the sun comes up is always the coldest and the darkest. You know, but then when it comes up, oh, does it shine ever more the brighter for having seen it and having waited for it to come through. So we're wrapping up cycles this week, and the big thing that came through in that message was take the pressure this week. Push past that feeling that you have, because the chances are just on the other side of it, not far, not long after that feeling, you know, and after that moment where you say, right, okay, you know what, I'm going to allow that to happen, and then I'm going to see what shapes up after that. Just beyond that feeling of sort of, oh, this is uncomfortable, I'm not really feeling it or liking it. Just beyond that is your breakthrough. It was your moment where something is going to, where you're going to see some sort of a breakthrough. And I really believe that, you know, sometimes when you feel like you're breaking down, it means you're about to break through. So hang on just that little bit longer. Your destiny card for the week ahead is the Justice card, right? So a lot of us at the moment, I'm going to call it as I see it, right? Your Justice card isn't just about legal stuff and paperwork. It's about the grand scales of karma. This is where things come into their own equilibrium or find their own balance. And the destiny card this week being the Justice card, this week the scales are about to tip. So if you feel like they've been like this, they're about to level out. This is the week where you really do need to commit yourself to whatever the end result or the goal is that you have in mind. And this isn't just about, you know, be a beast, go after your goals, like rah, rah, rah. So you guys know me, I'm not really that sort of person, unless I'm working out. In that case, you know, I'm a bit tougher with myself. But yeah, this is really saying to you, remember the commitments that you have made. Remember the things that you set out to do. Remember the targets, the goals, the missions that you've decided to complete. If you're feeling at the moment that you've put in a kind of a lot of effort and you're not really necessarily seeing a lot of the rewards or the benefits or the payback from it, this is the point where you need to knuckle down. This is the point where you need to double down. This is the point where you really need to stay focused on the end result, not in the here and now. Because in the here and now, like I said, you know, if I'd have been in the thick of it when the star was being born, I might not have seen so much beauty. But to see it from a bird's eye view and at a distance, it was amazing to behold. So this week, your destiny card, the overarching energy or theme is saying to you, remember your commitments and stick with them. Remember what it is that you started, and more importantly, remember why it is that you started it. With your destiny card as well, this could be about the paperwork. If there's something that you are planning to do, for some of you, this could be because you Justice card represents the sign of Libra. Libra represents Venus, or is ruled by Venus, should I say. So any of those things, if there's something like a partnership, maybe there's a contract that you're looking to sign. For some of you, this could be starting a new job. For some of you, this could be the interview that comes up. It could be the offer from a job interview. And this is kind of you going through the process of deliberating. Is this what I want? Is it what I need? Is it getting me, you know, is it the sort of thing that I can see myself doing long term? There's a lot of talk about paperwork, documentation, lots of jobs sort of kind of up in the air at the moment. And I'm seeing this on a personal level as well, in terms of my, you know, the clients that I'm seeing at the moment. These seem to be things that are really coming up right now. So this is going to be the week where you're really able to make some decisions based on what you actually want, what you actually need, need and where it is that you really kind of see yourself going. Now's the time to double down, to really think about, yeah, okay, what do I want? What do I need? And ultimately, what am I prepared to commit to in order to get there? So for the direction card, let's give it some context. Let's give it some shape or some form. Oh, okay, and we've had a jumping card, and it is the 9 of Cups, right? This is beautiful. If you've applied for a specific job, especially those of you that have applied for a specific job and heard nothing back, this will be the week where you might think to yourself, like, I nailed that, like I actually thought it went well. They seemed to like me. They showed me around, and then nothing, right? If that has been your experience up until now, the 9 of Cups basically says this is it's a good fit. This is where you're going to get some sort of communication, maybe a contract offer. For some of you, this may look like a second interview, which is great because it's going to give you a chance to ask those questions that you didn't the first time round. And I kind of feel like that's a thing for some people. For others of you, this is basically saying that there's a path that you've already kind of committed to, and the 9 of Cups is basically backing you up to say you've made the right decision. That is the way that you're supposed to go. Your 9 of Cups is, yes, it's wish fulfillment, yes, it's emotional contentment, but it also represents healing. Now this opposite the Justice card, for those of you that have had rifts in relationships, for those of you that have had troublesome times, maybe with friends, maybe with partners, maybe even with business partners, this is basically saying that this week there's going to be a salve that kind of is offered. So if somebody extends an olive branch to you this week, no matter how small that is, and if you yourself do want some sort of reconciliation with that with that person, that's odd. I'm just thinking, because maybe that was a Freudian slip for me. I'm not actually at odds with either of my parents at the moment, so interesting. But yeah, maybe it's for one of you guys out there. Your 9 of Cups as a direction card. This is also asking you to commit to your wishes, to commit to the things that will really bring you happiness, to commit to the things that you actually want to put your heart and soul into. And ultimately, this is, for some of you, this is about committing to your own healing, whatever that looks like to you, wherever you feel like you might want or need to take this. The 9 of Cups is basically saying the path is kind of assured. The Justice card is saying it's on you to kind of make it happen. Right, it's kind of all there. All of the ingredients are there for you should you decide to make them into something, but you've got to bake the cake. You've got to do the mixing, the measuring and all the rest of it. The ingredients are provided, assembly is not. It's kind of like a bit of an IKEA package this week. Right? It's like, I remember seeing there's that picture that says this is my IKEA birthday cake, and it's just like lots of separate bits of ingredients. That's the feeling that I get from this week. All right, so your insight, let's have a look, see what is the energy or information that you kind of need to know, or is coming or going, or coming from sort of behind the scenes. As an insight card, you get the 3 of Cups. I mean, these are gorgeous cards, really gorgeous cards. For some of you, this is about an old job. Maybe this is about going back to a job, going back to an old position that you used to work in. Now, remember, even if we go back to something, it's very rarely the same. We are not the same. We might be taking a step backward to, in a job or to a place that we used to work, maybe in terms of a partnership, maybe in terms of a relationship. But remember, in the time that you've been away from that person, thing, connection, you have changed. You have evolved in some way, shape or form. And so has the other place, other party. You might get there and think, a lot of this is really similar. But there will always be something different. So consider that. Make sure that you build that understanding into the reconnection itself. But it looks like there are reunions, the mending of rifts this week. There's an olive branch being assembled. There's the IKEA package again. There's an olive branch being extended. For a lot of you, this is invites to really good times. For some of you, you this could be about, you know, maybe not informal, maybe formal invites as well. For some of you, this could be like a formal invite to a college that you've applied for, to a school that you've applied for, maybe something that you're planning to study, maybe something that you're planning to do for work. Maybe this is, oh, that's really interesting, because I applied for something just recently as a content creator, so I'm hoping this applies to me too. Nice. You know, it could be something that you've applied to for your work, you know, that's going to enhance your experience there. It looks like there's going to be some sort of reach out this week that will come, and I don't necessarily think it's going to come out of the blue or unexpected. It might be something that you've already put the feelers out for, and it just kind of comes to you and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm really glad that's happening. Or, you know, I pushed for it, I worked for it, I did the application. It's like you've done your bit, and now it's just the process of waiting. And it really does look like this week, for those of us that can be patient and just wait for it, it will come. All right, this is not a week to chase anything. Take the pressure, keep doing what you're doing, remember your goals, remember your commitment. You keep walking your path, and then whatever is needed or whatever is coming to you or about to be offered to you will show up. And when it does, you will know whether you're ready to move with it, whether you want it or whether you don't. This looks like a great week for everybody. When it comes to the wider world stage, when it comes to the sort of bigger and larger, then we're going to start to see lots of talks about money, about finances this week. I think there's possibly going to be some sort of new legislation when it comes to money, maybe when it comes to investments. It does feel to me like there's going to be something that feels like it's really beneficial for a lot of people when it comes to money, when it comes to finances. And because it comes through the Justice card, there is almost this sort of legal slant to it. It does feel like there's maybe going to be some law, maybe some new legislation, maybe some new stipulation that is actually in favor for the small person, you know what I mean, for the everyday man, rather than, you know, the big corporations. So on that note, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up for you. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? You know, keep me posted. And ultimately, remember what I said about this, taking the pressure. If you're in a bad situation and it's doing you harm, obviously use your noggin and get out. But for the most part, find that moment within you where you can push past how you feel now until you get that release point. You know, yeah, I think that's as much as I'll say on that. Anyway, have a great week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.